Hey guys, thank you so much for joining in the Firstsales Friday, episode number 2. I am Udit Goenka, the founder and CEO of Firstsales.io, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about A/B testing. In the last session, we spoke about how to write the right email, how to write the right subject line in order to get a good response, in order to generate good, high quality leads. But in this session, we're going to be talking about one of the most critical technical topic, which is A/B testing. We're going to dive right in, and here is the screen for you guys so that I can dive in and start sharing more with you guys. There you go. Perfect. I hope you guys are able to see my screen. I'm just going to get started in just 1 second. Again, guys, if at any point of stage, if you have any questions, feel free to drop your questions in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to take your questions. I'll be more than happy to share a lot of good stuff with you guys. Again, if you have any questions to ask, right? So let's get started. Today's topic is all about don't guess, test. So A/B testing is very critical for any campaign because as a marketer or as a salesperson, you need to be obsessed about data. If you're not obsessed about data, chances of you really growing and surviving and really getting the desired result is extremely slim to low. Don't go out there in some various Facebook group or some expert have told you to use and do this, use this template, and you're going to get amazing results. No, it doesn't work that way because what has worked for them might not work for you. And this is why you always have to focus on A/B testing. So this is another keynote by me, and let's get started. Again, if you guys want to take down notes, you can. So the 4 very important pillars of A/B testing is understanding the basics of A/B testing, identify what works, analyze and interpret results, and then finally, implement the changes and iterate. These are the 4 effective pillars of an effective A/B split testing. We're going to be diving into each one of them now so that you will be able to understand better in terms of how A/B testing can really help you out. And more importantly, how you should be always doing A/B testing. If you're getting amazing results, you still do not want to ever stop with A/B testing so that you can keep on improving. Let's dive into the very first pillar of A/B testing. Let's understand what is A/B testing, why is it important, and how it can benefit your campaigns. First, A/B testing can lead to better conversion rates, more engaged users, lower bounce rates, and ultimately higher revenue. I think that's the end goal of all of us, right? We want to make more money, and we wouldn't know how we can make more money unless until we keep on testing. So in our previous session, we did talk about how to write the right emails or right subject line. But how about that subject line worked, but maybe we want to try something better. We want to try 2 subject lines to see which one worked better. How are you going to know about it? Unless and until you A/B test. And that's what A/B testing is all about, is testing different sequences, testing different variants, testing different subject lines. Because sometimes what happens is, as per some recent stats, even adding something as simple as just someone's name in the subject line can improve your open rate by almost 18%. That's right. So whenever you're sending out an email to someone, just add the name, simple, right? Because it's all about personalization. It's all about testing. But hey, for some niches, if you're adding that, it might not work out because people could find it very creepy that, how did you get my name? How did you get my email? So it's very important to also understand. And for this, just test out, see what works for your industry, see what works for your niche. And on the basis of that, you go ahead and get started, right? It takes the guesswork out of email optimization and enables data-backed decision-making. Again, very important to understand this, that it's very, very, very important to understand that you cannot take any kind of decision based on guesswork when it comes to email marketing, or in a matter of fact, like any kind of marketing that you do, be it like performance marketing, or even for a matter of fact, you're doing social media posting. If you keep posting the same kind of content over and over and over and over again, who knows, if you would have just posted about something else, probably in a different format, you would have gotten a better engagement. But since people are, when the moment you get comfortable with something, your growth stops. Remember, growth is always uncomfortable, which means you got to keep testing, keep testing, keep testing. Even if things are working, still test, because it takes the guesswork out. You cannot do guesswork when it comes to running your business, right? So that shift business conversations from we think to we know. And that data helps you to analyze and take better decisions as a business owner. And I think that's something that everyone wants. Now, identify what to test in your cold email campaign. So a lot of people would always ask me and often ask me like, hey, Udit, like, what do I even test, right? This is what you do. This is what you test out inside your cold email campaigns. Number one, how to choose the right elements of testing. Start by identifying your goal. Don't just randomly don't just randomly throw in some random subject line. No, understand what is your goal out of the campaign. Is it to increase the open rate or response rate or conversion? It cannot be all of them. Every single cold email campaign that you said, it has to have a certain kind of goal. Now, what's your goal? More importantly, at times, this is the good strategy that I'm going to share with you, right? So now, many a times, people don't know, but cold emails are one of the most effective way to create brand awareness. And I'm going to tell you how. So here is the strategy that we used and we use quite often is whenever we are targeting on any kind of ICP, we don't focus on converting them right away. Our focus is to making sure that we are able to build the first touch point and they are aware of that we are running either Firstsales or we are running pitch round, either one of them. That's our goal, right? That's one of our campaigns, by the way. Now, what we do and intend to do is making focused on open rate. Now, anyone who opens, what we do is we send out the data to Facebook campaign, and from there, we retarget them. This is a brilliant strategy because now you have gotten them into your funnel and you keep targeting them over and over again through ads. This is a brilliant and unique way. So for example, you run a very large campaign of about, let's say, 10,000 lists and probably add roughly around, let's say, 10 mail accounts and send out 100 emails per day. So in about 10 days of time, you would be done with the campaign. Again, the goal is to just get open. Now, let's imagine that about 30% of the people opens that email. So now you have 3,000 contact lists. Now you know that these people are active. That means they've opened the contact. You take the email and go inside your Facebook ad campaign or go inside your Google ad campaign and start targeting ads with them. And you will start seeing incredible amount of conversion. This is a brilliant strategy. That's why I told you, understand what's your goal. If your goal is responses, you need to add different offers. You need to test different offers all the time. If you're offering someone 7 days of free trial, offer someone 10 days of free trial, offer the third person 14 days of free trial, and maybe offer someone 3 days of free trial, see what works, right? But always test out depending upon what your end goal is. And remember, one campaign always needs to have one goal. Do not try to throw in a lot of goals inside one campaign. If you do so, you're just kind of like screwing up your entire campaign, right? Because your objective is going to differ. It's not going to have a high level of clarity. So have the clarity. The second point is the importance of testing one thing at a time, which is what I just told you. Always test just one thing at a time. It's very important to focus. Focus is very critical. The next, third important and final line is examples of elements to test. For example, subject lines, email body, CTAs, etc. Almost anything in your subject line email can be tested. But then again, your job needs to be just using one kind of a testing, one objective with one simple test that you're going to perform in this campaign. Most of the email marketing software, most of the email outreaching software should give you the capability of A/B testing. Though I would love you to use Firstsales.io, but then again, we always keep these value webinar sessions, Okay, coming down to pillar number 2 now, building your A/B testing. So how do you get started with A/B testing? How do you build your first thesis, right? The first thing that you have to do is create your hypothesis. So your hypothesis should be a prediction of what you think will happen for the test. And for example, including your recipient's name in the subject line, which will increase your open rate by 15% to 18% roughly, which is what I mentioned just now, right? So now in some of your hypotheses, try to see that you do not include the name, but throw in a crazy offer. So for example, hey, this is a zero cost offer or zero cost just for you. That's it, right? Like make people curious. Always remember that your subject line needs to have a lot of curiosity. If it doesn't have curiosity, people are not interested in opening the email. The worst kind of email you can ever send is a very, very professional business email. no one is interested in a professional business email. Never, ever keep your tone heavily professional. Try to mix it up with a bit of sarcasm. I love sarcasm in general. And generally what happens is sarcasm is like you're hitting someone very slow, but at the same time, you hit them very bad. So it makes the other person think a lot. And that generally gets them engaged, involved, and they end up going back and read your email once again. So again, but understand what your hypothesis is. Your hypothesis is, again, getting more open rate or getting more responses. What those hypotheses are, test those hypotheses. So create your hypothesis. Second, setting up your control and variant. The control is the current version of your email, and the variant is the new version that you think will perform better. Half of your email list will receive the control email, and half of the other email will receive a variant. So which is what I was just talking about, right? So when you do an A/B testing, your first half of your entire base. So let's say if you're outreaching to about 1,000 people, 500 of your prospects are going to get the first set of email. The rest of the 500 is going to get the second set of email. Now you will be able to see which one has performed better. Once you have the winner, start using that and add another test after that. Generally, your test, whenever you're doing cold email, your test needs to run for at least 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, you get decent data, and then you can make better decision in terms of how do you really want to move forward. So disable the previous variant that's not working for you, add another variant, always keep testing, never stop testing, because your goal needs to be, if you have gotten 20% open rate, how can you get 30%? If you've gotten 30%, how can you get 35? If you've gotten 35, how can you get 40%? So it just needs to keep moving on and more on so that you can keep improving your entire variant so that, again, you get better results. And finally, ensuring your test is statistically significant, right? So now, for an example, if you're going to upload a list of just 50 people or 100 people, don't run A/B testing. That's not enough data to run a test. If your prospecting list is less than 1,000 people, A/B testing is not a good idea for you, because you will not get enough data if you don't send out at least 500 emails to one variant and 500 to the second variant. That's a good data set. But if you have maybe 100, 200 prospects, A/B testing is not a good idea. It's just too less of a data set to make a wise decision, right? Because if you're going to have an open rate of maybe 20%, so you are basically making a decision based on just 20 prospects. That's not good enough, right? So out of 100, 20 has opened. So it's very hard to make a decision on just based of 20. So it needs to be a large data set. Otherwise, just stick to what you know, what you do. But otherwise, generally, when you do an email outreaching campaign, you need to have at least a minimum of 3,000 to 5,000 prospects in every campaign. If you have anything less than that, you might want to revisit and do some more prospecting, which we'll probably cover in some of the future sessions. So far, guys, are you liking it so far? Let me know before we move forward, guys. Drop in some comments. Let me know if you're finding this session very different, very unique, and you're learning something new, right? Because that's our goal, is to making sure that every week we come out and we share something different, we share something new so that you can learn, right? So again, drop in your comments, guys, let me know. And also at the same time, drop in some of your comments, right? And let me know what's going on, right? Again, I'm not seeing a lot of comments, guys. Come on, I need to see some comments out there. Awesome, guys. Fantastic. So I'm going to move forward now. Perfect. So the next is turning test results into action. So the first thing is implement winning variations, right? So now that you have some results, what do you do next? Implement winning variations. Use the winning elements from the test in your future campaigns. Use your controlled covered list with highest matching prospects when you already have data-backed proof of what works. So now that you have that, now it's time for you to start using that pretty aggressively, right? Then don't ditch the losers. So learn from the elements that did not perform. If something doesn't perform, don't just ignore it. It's very important. Try to understand why it did not work. Try to spend a little more time understanding, because again, if you do not understand analytics, if you do not spend time understanding analytics or data, chances are that most of your campaigns will not succeed. It's very, very, very important to making sure that you understand data, you understand analytics. And again, most of the softwares really make it easy today to understand those data, metrics, and analytics. So learn from the elements that did not perform. They provide valuable insights. Remember, nothing is equal to everything. So find out where the copy went wrong. Was the tone well not received? So many times people often go either very aggressive or they get very serious in their email, or generally their offer really sucks. So making sure that these things work. So I'm going to give you like one very effective way when it comes to anytime you're launching your cold email, have a checklist of just three points, right? Just make sure these three points does and matches. First one is prospecting. Make sure you do your prospecting right. Very important, very important. Don't go out there, buy some cheap list from somewhere, or don't just get some random data, or don't buy from some random people. Always make sure you do your prospecting right. Second, make sure your offer is right. Very important, right? Third is your pitching. Make sure your copy is right, your tone is right. If you combine these three things, you will always get results, right? That's testing. That's based on our testing of almost 14 years that we have nailed it down to like these 3 points. So again, this is why it's very important to keep on testing and testing and testing all the time, because data is going to help you make better decisions. And last is TTR, which is test, tweak, and repeat. Never, ever stop testing. Every 1 month, repeat the test. Every 1 month, repeat the test. Every 1 month, repeat the test, because your goal needs to be, how can I keep on improving? Can I throw in a better offer to get more responses? Maybe that offer was too aggressive and maybe I'm not making money. So let me reduce that offer a bit and test out again. It's always important to keep on testing to understand what works the best so that you can keep on improving, right? That's very, 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 very important, right? So once you understand that, let's go into the third pillar, which is decoding your A/B testing and results, right? So now let's dive into it. So the very first part is unveiling the open rates. Open rates can reveal the effectiveness of your subject lines, right? A significant number is a clear winner. We all know that. But be aware of a few things, right? So you would find that some of the softwares do not have the ability to test the open rate effectively, which means that if you get an auto response, or many a times ESPs check your email to see whether there is any kind of virus or anything in the email or not. And many of the softwares do not have the capabilities to test that, and which is why the open rate seems very inflated. So make sure that you check on that and see whether your software is able to detect this, because if someone is ever showing that you are able to get like 80-90% open rate using their software, it's a plain bluff. I'm just letting you know so that you're aware of it as a user. Second, check the CTR, right? CTR, which is when someone clicks on the link, that's a very good indication with regards to they're really interested on your offer. Third is your response rate. That's the ultimate goal. None of the other statistics matter. Your ultimate and main goal needs to be getting people to respond to your email. That should be the ultimate goal, right? And nothing means everything. So if you're getting a low to no open rate, replies, click, engagement, or any of these kind of things, this is just statistically significant, right? You must just revise your entire copy and run more tests. So many a times people often say that, hey, cold email is not working out for you. This generally happens because of, again, 3 reasons, right? Wrong prospecting, wrong copy, wrong offer. You need to make sure that you combine these 3 things only and only then you would be able to see the right result. Finally, let's talk about pillar number 4, which is the power of iterative testing. So continuous improvement, that's the first point. Each test provides data for the next. Keep refining your email for better results. Second, test beyond subject line. Many times people often just test the subject line, test the signature. Maybe, who knows, adding something as simple as your LinkedIn URL can significantly improve your response rate, right? Because it's able to build trust. Add probably a phone number in your subject line. This can significantly improve your response rate. Again, you will have to test to see this, right? Don't just add a signature because everyone is adding. So no, do not do that. What I have seen is that when we reach out to our prospects, adding a simple text signature performs way better for us than adding a very complex kind of like an email of a signature. Again, that's based on our testing. That might not be true for you. So this is why you got to test out different aspects of the things. Always create like different campaigns for that. before you start creating one major campaign and see what really works for you. Next is, sorry, just a moment. Sorry about that. Yeah, next is, then finally, embrace surprises. A/B testing can yield unexpected returns, right? Be open to changing your strategy based on your data. The copy you thought probably is a lit, maybe shit, right? That's okay. It's completely okay. If the data says it sucks, it sucks. If the data says it works, then it works. Sometimes some of your crappiest offer could convert the best because that might be the best offer for your clients. So this is why you gotta always keep testing. It's very critical that you keep on testing. Remember, the key to mind-blowing A/B testing is to never stop at first test. Keep testing, keep learning, and keep improving. The rewards are massive if you just keep testing. Your tech stack really matters, right? The right tool for the job. So here are the tools that we personally use, and we recommend you the same. So for email finders, we generally use Easy Leads and then Snowbio and Apollo. At the same time, we are also building our own prospecting tool that should be out very soon in like next couple of months for you guys, where you can just scrape all the data from LinkedIn Sales Navigator. We highly recommend using Firstsales for sending out any kind of emails. Next is for A/B split testing. Again, we have a very good A/B split testing. And finally, for content variation, either you can use Firstsales AI or you can use ChatGPT. I'm going to give you one more pro tip that can help you significantly improve your conversion rate. And I'm not sure if this has been ever shared before. Anytime you write your copy, go on ChatGPT. Make sure you have ChatGPT version 4 for this. Go over there and simply write, evaluate my email and look for any kind of spammy keyword and replace those words with a similar synonym. Trust me, this one prompt alone can be a complete game changer for you, because all of a sudden, any kind of spammy keywords that you have added is all gone, and all of those keywords are now replaced with a synonym that will work a lot better. So we recently did this test, and guess what? Our delivery rate in inbox skyrocketed just by doing this simple test. So earlier, we were adding probably like a couple of lines that we felt were very good, but we weren't getting like a good amount of inboxing. So what we did was we reevaluated the email after we reanalyzed the data, and we saw that this looks interesting. Maybe this could trigger like maybe a spam. So we went on to ChatGPT. We asked them, hey, please find any spammy keywords in this particular email and just replace that. I'm going to show you guys live how to do it as well in this particular session itself, right? It's amazing how you can use these tools in a most effective manner. Then again, if you don't have to, if you use the Firstsales AI, it's inbuilt, so you don't even have to worry about that at any point of stage, right? Okay, just a moment. I'm going to show you guys in just a moment. Then this is a complete cycle. If you want to take a screenshot of this, paste it in your wall or anything, just take a screenshot of this, because this is probably the most powerful slide that you would see, right? Your cold emails on steroids. This is how you need to do it. Step 1 is analyzing, implementing, and iterating. Step 2 is understanding A/B testing. Step 3 is identifying what to test. And finally, the step 4 is building and executing your A/B testing. This entire slide covers all the core 4 pillars in terms of understanding A/B testing. Guys, again, if you have any questions, please drop them in before I share my screen once again, and I walk you through some of those details. I'm going to walk you through some of the things at the same time in just 1 second. But again, guys, if you've learned something new today, drop in a fire emoji. Let me know that you guys have really learned something new. Come on, I need to see some fire out there in the comments below, guys. Before I share in my screen again, so that I can show you guys some more amazing, cool stuff. Again, guys, drop in some fire emoji. Let me know if you guys are learning something different, if you guys are learning something new. Again, fantastic, guys. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, just a moment. I'm going to be sharing my screen in just 1 second. All right, that's perfect. I'm going to now share my screen once again to you guys. Right. And also, let's see if we can evaluate some emails, right? So let's write down. There you go. Okay, I'm all set now. Resharing my screen once again so that we can walk through everything out there for you guys. Okay, are you able to, guys, are you able to see my screen now? So all of those tools, great question. All of those tools that you have mentioned are very different and used for different purposes. Firstsales is used purely for cold emails, while the other names that you have mentioned is primarily for this. Again, I'm going to walk you through Firstsales very quickly before we dive into ChatGPT. So let's say if you're creating your very first campaign, so I'm going to just call it like campaign inside Firstsales. I'm just going to create this campaign now. Right over here, you can add your emails, add in your options, and let's dive into the sequence part itself, right? So this is where the magic of Firstsales really comes into picture. I'm just going to, for the sake of this, I'm just going to use some demo data, create sarcastic tone, so that we can create some AI. So let's just test it out before I show some AI stuff to see if everything is working fine and well. There you go, right? So again, this is how Firstsales makes it very easy before we dive into ChatGPT and show you guys some of the things that you should absolutely be doing, right? So the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to create my subject line very quickly over here using Firstsales AI. So let's say that let's make lead generation easier, because if you see over here, that's the details that I've mentioned to my AI so that they have some data about me. Now, what I'm going to do over here is I'm quickly going to create this A/B testing over here. So now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to create another subject line, right? Again, this is what I was talking about earlier, that always first test out the variance. So for example, Qatar's of lead generation work in seconds. You just need Firstsales.io. I think this is a brilliant subject line, right? Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add one more variant. So I'm going to probably test out with like 3 variants over here. Again, I'm going to just create another subject line. Again, this should work with any software that you guys are using. So let's work the magic. So what I'm going to do over here now is if there are any custom fields available, so just add in those custom fields. Or for now, I'm just going to add contact.first_name. Right, there you go. So now I have 3 variants which I can use to test out which variant works first. And then I'm going to probably shoot in, and I can also like do some of the variants over here, right? But in this particular objective, my goal will just be to test subject line and not the copy. But let's say that in case we just want to test the copy, now I'm just going to create a sequence testing, which is again very critical. And what I'm going to do over here is, let's say I'm just going to use this subject line over here, and then I'm going to just create some variants over here. Right, so here I'm again going to keep the same subject line, but what I'm going to do over here is I'm just going to create 2 different email copy. Again, this should work with any kind of software as long as they have these capabilities today. A/B testing is very critical, right? So now this is the second kind of A/B testing that I'm going to do. So now Firstsales gives you an option to do both of those testing inside one campaign if you do different sequences, right? So your sequence A is going to test your subject lines, versus the sequence B will test your entire copy. So this way, and different copy or CTA, whatever you want to do. So this way you are doing 2 different kinds of tests inside one campaign, but you do it in this particular fashion. Never have just one sequence doing a lot of different testing, right? So as you can see over here, your campaign A or your entire sequence A is very different, is focused on, let me just quickly save this. Yeah, so as you can see, your entire sequence A is focused on testing out your entire different subject lines, while the content could remain the same, versus your sequence B will have the same subject line, but it will have different contents. It depends upon you in terms of how you really want to do it, right? How you want to test things out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy, let's say this. I'm going to go into ChatGPT. And I'm going to write over here, imagine you are world's best copywriter and top cold email sales person, right? Help me. It's very, again, guys, it's very important that you go with GPT-4 and browse, otherwise it's not going to work, right? So help me evaluate this copy and make sure that you remove any spammy keyword with a synonym, I'm going to write this copy over here, right? Let's just see. And I'm going to make some changes at the same time, right? So that I can add some spammy keywords at the same time. So let me just quickly clean this up for just 1 second. This is good. Right? And I'm just going to add the last line, which is, please see, I will give you the first month of Firstsales for 100% free and guaranteed. That's it. I've purposely written free and guaranteed, right? So let's just see. I'm now going to hit enter, sit back and just wait. This is a very critical step, guys. This step alone can help you improve your inboxing. Again, this is based on our A/B testing. So I'm just, again, sharing you guys something unique, something different that you guys probably didn't know about, right? So check this out. Let's see. This is probably, pretty solid with a friendly tone. And however, there are a few suggested areas. Oh, there is one thing that I completely forgot, right? So let me just go back and add this. Please list down all the replaced keywords and explain why they were replaced. Always make sure that anything that you do, try to learn from it. Why did it happen? You should always ask why to everyone and everything that you do, because that's probably the best word that was ever discovered, because why can help you understand in such an effective way. So always use that why, right? So now I'm going to hit this and let's see. Awesome. Let's check this out, right? Firstly, let's evaluate the existing. And this is why I told you, right? Asking why is very important, because now you get to learn. This is the best way to learn. The tone of the email is conversational, engaging, and personalized, which is good strategy for cold email. Perfect, which means Firstsales AI content actually works. The introduction is attention grabbing. Amazing. Firstsales works again. The benefits of the services are clearly outlined. Again, Firstsales AI works to the perfection. We're testing whether Firstsales AI is doing a good job with a copy or not as well, right? You guys can see. And the postscript PS adds a powerful incentive, offering the first month of the service for free. Here is the improvement. Check this out. The proposition could be more customer focused. Great suggestion. Avoid using repetitive words. See this, like for instance, lead gen. The connection between watching cat videos and using services seems a bit forced. Maybe, agreed, but again, we're using sarcastic tone, right? And the bonus mentions and can be a bit confusing. It's not very clear. Taking a break from cat videos as a bonus. So here is what they have done. Check this out. See this. So hello, now they have changed it. And as you can see, here is all the words that have been replaced with this. This is magic. This is how you guys do cold email. This is how you guys replace any potential spammy words with making sure that all of those are replaced with synonyms. This is how you guys evaluate. This is how you combine things with ChatGPT. And you combine Firstsales with ChatGPT. And this is why we recommended ChatGPT in the slide as well, right? Again, I'm showing you what we do, how we do things. We're showing you that right inside these campaigns. We're showing you all of our processes over here so that you guys can learn, you guys can implement, you guys can get better results, because cold email is an art. In fact, every channel in general is an art. And in order to be an artist, you got to learn that art. You got to learn every channel. And every channel has got these minute detailing. And when you start learning these minute detailings, you start understanding how to do things in the better way, right? So check this out. The entire now email has been replaced. And as you can see, to sweeten the deal, your first month with Firstsales is on us guaranteed. So you see how you do things the right way. This is very important. This is how you do things the right way. All of these things are replaced. And as you can see, this is probably looking like a much better copy. Now I'm going to go back, copy this copy entirely, and done. And I'm going to come back inside Firstsales, and I'll just paste it over here. Done. Simple. It's that easy. This is how you do things. This is how you do split testing. And again, if you don't trust this particular copy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over here, right? And I'm probably going to create, let's say, just for the sake of this one, I'm just going to create a new one. And I'm going to paste this copy over here. I'm going to go back. And I'm also going to use the first copy, right? I'm going to test out to see what works, whether the suggestions from ChatGPT was better or the otherwise, right? I'm going to paste this. This is how, guys, you test out. You keep testing, you keep testing, you keep testing. You always keep testing. This is the essence of A/B testing. As long as you keep testing, you will always get amazing, great results. That's the most important part when it comes to any kind of cold emails. Guys, again, if you have any questions, drop them in. We're taking this session so that you can learn cold email, you can get better. And more importantly, you can start using Firstsales at the same time. We're here to help you guys out. And more importantly, again, if you have any questions, I'm here to answer any of your cold email questions that you have, right? So if you guys have any questions, drop them in so that I can start taking all of those questions. I hope, first of all, you guys learned something amazing and new today, which wasn't the case. I told you, every time at the end of the webinar, we'll always show something unique. We'll always show some new processes. We'll always make it so much more easier for you guys to understand how to use the tools the right way, because while there are a lot of softwares out there, but if you don't understand the basics and fundamental of certain aspects of the things, you would not be able to use any of those softwares. Forget about just Firstsales for a matter of fact. Any software, if you want to use it, you have to understand the use cases and then combine both of them to start seeing amazing and great results, guys. Again, I want to see some questions from you guys so that I can start answering them. So guys, drop in your questions. Let me help you answer all your cold email questions before we wrap up this session. So the first question coming in is from where we can get right data with names for e-commerce website. So BuiltWith is one of my favorite platforms whenever it comes to getting any kind of e-commerce website. So BuiltWith gives you the data of Shopify users, then it gives you the data points of WooCommerce users. You get those websites, you get the emails. So that's that easy, right? Once you have those emails, probably just go into Apollo and throw in the data over there, and you will right away get all the emails. That's the most effective way to get it, right? So use BuiltWith. That's our favorite platform in order to just get the data of anyone who's using e-commerce websites, right? So primarily, again, Magento, Shopify, and WooCommerce, those are the only three platforms that I'm going to focus on, because especially, by the way, Magento is very good if you're going to be focusing on enterprises. Most enterprises that I know, they heavily use Magento because of the core flexibility it has, right? So use Magento for that. But then again, also a lot of enterprises are using Shopify. I haven't seen a lot of enterprises using WooCommerce. So most likely you'll find a lot of small businesses using WooCommerce. So understand which platform is using what and how. So that's how you get the data of e-commerce. So I hope that helps. Guys, again, if you have any more questions, please drop them in. I would love to take those questions. I would love to help you guys out. I would love to answer your questions today. If there are any other questions, please drop them in. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's session. Once again, guys, it's Friday night. We are again on time. We always ensure that these sessions are anywhere from like 40 minutes to about like 60 minutes. Crisp, clear information, just focusing on the most critical aspect of the thing. So I hope you guys find everything very, 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 very useful. Before we wrap things up, let me quickly again share my screen to you guys. If you want, you can use Firstsales. It's an incredible platform. You can go over here. It starts with just $60 per month. Sign up today. There is a special offer running right now at the moment. So if you sign up right now, you'll probably see the offer. Just click on this button over here or this button, go inside, and you will see the offer right away. It's an exclusive offer. Take it while it already exists. So there's a question coming in. How do you get data from BuiltWith? Just get the data from there and put that data inside Apollo, and you should be getting all the email addresses. So that's how you do prospecting. Again, I'm going to be taking another session on prospecting very, 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 very soon. Once our LinkedIn Sales Navigator is out, then I'm going to be taking a session on prospecting so that I can dive and help you guys how to do different kind of prospecting. We'll also dive into some of the scraping tools in the future as well, how to do scraping and things like that. Every week we're going to be coming back. So make sure that every Friday, 9:30 p.m. or 8 a.m. EDT, you just reserve your time slot for 1 hour, because every week we're going to be coming back, sharing some more insights, sharing some amazing insights. Also, at the same time, if you're not a part of our Facebook community, then please head to facebook.com/group/Firstsales.io. We keep posting amazing stuff over here in this particular group. A lot of contents, a lot of other ideas. Feel free to join our community at any point of stage. Again, you will learn quite a lot of things over here. Drop in your questions if you want. I'm literally alive for 24 hours. Trust me, I don't sleep, right? Like, that's just a hyperbole, but I literally don't sleep. I'm here for each one of you so that you guys can really succeed. Join our community. There's about like 955 members right now in this community. We would love to have you in this community. And again, try out Firstsales.io. If you have any questions, hit us on chat and we'd be more than happy to answer the question. Let's see if there are any more questions before we wrap up. There's one more question coming in. I guess we have answered all the questions, guys. With that, we're going to be wrapping up. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope again you guys enjoyed today's session. It was more technical. We'll be coming back in another campaign, another session next week, where we're going to be sharing more amazing stuff with you guys. Until then, have a great one and keep sending cold emails every freaking day of your life. And trust me, you're going to be landing at least 5 paid customers a month when you send out that many number of emails. Until then, guys, have a great one.